Bill Baruch, investment committee member, joins us now. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming on. You bought more Caterpillar, in fact, and you bought more Wabtec. Let's talk about those first before we get to the sell. Why Cat?
Caterpillar, it didn't react well to earnings because of the declining backlog, but it was a good earnings report for that quarter. And as Joe said, it's hanging by a thread. What I'm seeing from my levels and the uptrend is still intact. And the strong close last week, I think, is going to be provide some momentum. Looking at 220, 230. But think about the infrastructure spending, the delays in the Inflation Reduction Act, emerging markets that are going to be spending more money, and then the onshoring here in the U.S. I think there's just a number of tailwinds as we look to the quarters ahead that this name should perform. Let's not forget, we're just one quarter removed that it set a record high after a strong report. So I think in the coming months, we'll see it bounce back pretty well.
All right, so you're playing to be a little early maybe, or not pay so much attention to any of the macro data, thinking more big picture. Wabtec, WAB, why?
I mean, they're in the locomotive space and freight and rails for passengers and freight. And, I think that's just a terrific place to be. And 60% of the revenues, reoccurring revenues cover 60% of their profits. I think that's a really nice thing to look at, especially if we go through, maybe a little bit of a slowdown. Although I don't think we'll have a hard landing. I think we'll be soft or really no landing at all. So I do want to add to some momentum here. The report there was pretty good about 2 weeks ago, and it brought it out of the gutter. So, again, I think some strong momentum. It's a place to be. And, I mean, if you look at any place that needs infrastructure rebuilding and continue investment is the locomotive space. So I think that's really a great. But this is a three-part play as well.
Yeah, well, you sold RTX. Is that taking advantage of a stock that popped? It was up 5% last week, and it's up almost 19% in a month.
Yeah, so that's part of the three-part play here, taking RTX off the table and putting that cash to work and concentrating that in industrials. Remember, go back to the middle of the summer, it fell out with the Pratt & Whitney, their engine defect. The stock was down as much as 30%. It bounced back after earnings. It had a $10 billion repurchase. So we've come back. It's only down about 15% from where it was in the summer. So I'm using that as an opportunity to take a step back here. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I mean, look at all the geopolitics. I mean, we're on a knife's edge, any sharper than where we were since the Cold War. And RTX has really underperformed. So I want to get out of that stock and watch it for a bit and concentrate on the two names that I like the most right now in the industrial space. That's Caterpillar and Wabtec.
Okay, good stuff. Bill, thank you. We'll see you soon. Bill Baruch with a trade alert for us. All right, so we talked industrials. Now, Bryn, let's talk banks.